The smartest way to lose love handles. The term love handle is another name for the excess fat that sits at the side of the waist. Love handles are an area of stubborn fat. It seems to be the first place guys gain it and the last place it disappears. This is especially true for myself. For a long time it felt impossible to get rid of those love handles, and I'm sure you clicked on this video because you share the same sentiment. Both my clients, James and Matt, believed it would be impossible to see these stubborn areas come off. That being said, the 10 tips I'm going to mention in this video are the steps that I've used as well as my clients repeatedly, and it's also supported by the science. Before we dive in, a lot of research and editing goes into making a video like this. Just do me one favor, if you wouldn't mind, gently hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're new. Let's kick it off. Tip 1. A negative energy balance. The simple science dictates that your weight gain and weight loss is known as your energy balance. Energy balance is the relationship between the energy you feed your body and the energy it utilizes. Reducing fat in a site-specific area is not a reality. However, being in a caloric deficit over time, you'll lose weight and drop body fat overall, including your love handles. In my own experience, it's the last place to go. But as you keep working hard, chipping away with your diet, you'll see your waist size come down. Here are short clips of some of the best minds in the fitness industry talking about the main goal with fat loss.
Fat loss comes from an energy deficit, so consuming less calories than you need to maintain weight. Real briefly, you can technically see your body fat percentage go down eating at maintenance while you gain muscle, and you could possibly even, like if you had a really strong stimulus to gain weight, maybe lose, or gain muscle I should say, maybe lose fat in a small surplus perhaps, but energetically, you need to be in an energy deficit.
Tip 2. Cut out as much sugar as possible. This should come as no surprise. Sugar is not your friend. Refined sugar is 99.4 to 99.7% pure calories, with no vitamins, no minerals, fats or proteins, just carbohydrates that spike blood sugar, followed by an insulin response and a subsequent sugar crash, leading us to desire for more. In 2019, the first thing I did was cut out sugar almost completely, and this was my experience. It was life-changing for my overall health. Sugar is the main ingredient in a lot of the hyper-palatable foods. My best recommendation is find healthier options, such as fruit. Apples are great as they're low in calorie and high in fiber, and substitutes of your favorite foods that contain no added sugar. Tip 3. Eat more protein. A high-protein diet is important because it will promote muscle growth, which is what we ultimately want to achieve. It can also increase the thermic effect of food, your TEF. It's caused by the extra calories required to digest, absorb, and process the nutrients in your meal. Protein causes the largest rise in your TEF. It increases your metabolic rate by 15 to 30%, compared to the 5 to 10% for carbs and the 0 to 3% for fats. In a caloric deficit, this can contribute to burning more fat over time. A common side effect of being on a diet is hunger. Protein's ability to be satiating is a great way to curb hunger and better help you with your dieting experience. To eat more protein, I highly recommend predominantly getting those from whole foods. However, a whey protein supplement does help you in terms of supplementing your diet and hitting those protein goals. It is also a lot cheaper. EHP Labs, my sponsors, have a 60% sale on their whey proteins, and by far the best I've ever had in my life. I add them to my oats or have them as a shake alone. 60% off, and they include the bundles that have my favorite pre-workouts in there. So it's the first link in the description. Use the discount code DIAMONDS10 to get 60% off the bundles. Take advantage of it. I can't speak any highly of it, but let's move on into tip 4. Cheat meals. It's very likely you'll go out for dinner with friends or order in at some point. Eating a meal off plan is normal, basically having a cheat meal. My best advice is to have them on a full stomach. If you're having a cheat meal that day, have your normal diet during the day, and then on a full stomach have your cheat meal. This will reduce the overall intake of calories during your cheat meal. Also, having your cheat meal at night at the end of the day will also help mitigate the overall calorie consumption from said cheat meal. My best advice is to make your own cheat meals. Incorporate them into your diet. And you'll see this: a Big Mac, McMuffin, ice lollies. Tip 5. Training is the driving force to body recomposition, meaning it's easy to lose fat by using the diet alone, but nearly impossible to build muscle without weight training. Weight training is paramount to building muscle and improving body composition. To building more muscle, I've been focusing on 2 training techniques. Firstly, progressive overload. It's when you gradually increase the weight, frequency, or the number of repetitions in your strength training routine. This challenges your body and allows your musculoskeletal system to get stronger. Secondly, time under tension. It refers to the amount of time a muscle is held under tension or strain during an exercise set. During time under tension workouts, you lengthen each phase of the movement to make your sets longer. If you would like a more detailed video about how I train, let me know. Tip 6. Walk more. Walking may not burn as many calories, but the calories it does burn comes primarily from fat stores. Another study by the University of Texas medical branch shows that peripheral lipolysis was maximally stimulated at the lowest intensity, and fatty acid release into the plasma decreased with increasing exercise intensity. You burn both fat and carbs when you exercise, and the proportions vary with the intensity. As the intensity increases, so does the reliance upon muscle glycogen for energy over your fat stores. This is why a very low intensity activity like walking taps mainly into your fat stores for energy, whereas high intensity exercise pulls much more heavily from your carbohydrate stores. And this is also why some people think that low intensity steady state cardio is best for losing weight. In my experience and with my clients, they've seen the most sustained success getting in steps every day. Tip 7. More sleep and less stress. To lose love handles or any kind of fat the smart way, sleep is extremely vital. Research has consistently shown that in a caloric deficit, subjects sleeping normally lost most of their weight as fat, while subjects sleeping poorly lost most of their weight as lean muscle mass. And all of this was just from 1 hour less of sleep per night, 5 days per week. It is in my own experience, if we truly want to achieve pure fat loss, we simply have to pay more attention to sleep and how much sleep we're getting. Another study compared subjects getting either 8.5 hours or 5.5 hours of sleep per night while in a caloric deficit. Once again, the results were incredible. The 8.5 hour group lost 1.4 kilograms of fat compared to the 0.6 kilograms of fat lost from the 5.5 hour group. My recommendation is try your best to get 8 hours or more of sleep and reduce your stress levels. Simply not sleeping enough can result in you working 2 times harder and achieving half the results. Tip 8. High intensity interval training, also known as HIIT or sprint interval training. It's a form of interval training, a cardiovascular exercise strategy alternating short periods of intense anaerobic exercise, basically going as hard as you can go, with less intense recovery periods where you catch your breath until you're too exhausted to continue. High intensity interval training is not the big secret to fat loss, however, it can be a powerful weight loss tool when you know how to use it. I would start at 30-second sprints with 60 seconds rest intervals. So I would sprint at 17 kilometers an hour for 30 seconds. This is basically 80% of my VO2 max. And then 6 kilometers per hour for 60 seconds and repeat. As your body adapts, when you feel you have mastered this beginner phase, or it's not challenging anymore, move on to 60-second sprints at 17 kilometers per hour and 60-second rests at 6 kilometers per hour. Tip 9. Whole foods versus processed foods. The fitness industry over the years has been quick to debunk the advantages of unprocessed foods versus processed foods, while due to their caloric intake being exactly the same. A 2010 study by Barr and colleagues compared whole or processed cheese sandwiches. Multigrain bread and cheddar cheese were deemed whole, while white bread and processed cheese were processed foods. The results? Everything was exactly the same, except the average energy expenditure for the whole foods meal. It took your body 137 calories to burn the whole processed meal, which was significantly larger than the processed meal, which was only 73 calories. We know that food digestion, or the thermic effect of food, equates to at least 10% of the total energy expenditure in our body. It's an easy decision to make to consume more whole foods than processed foods. Processed foods also tend to be hyperpalatable, which leads you to overeating. Candies are also hyperpalatable, and it's easy to eat a bag of Haribos and consume half of your caloric intake for the day. Tip 10. Eating high fiber foods. In my own experience, and research has shown countlessly that including high fiber foods promotes satiation and also helps being able to maintain a low caloric diet. So I have almost a kilo of pumpkin in my diet. I mix it up with chicken breast, which makes it amazing. These foods make you feel full and they're also super low calorie. So try and include different variations, including pumpkin, potatoes, squash. The choice is yours, but including that in your diet will help you reduce your overall caloric intake. But I'm gonna leave it here. In terms of losing your love handles the smart way, I highly recommend implementing any of these steps and a combination of that. You need to lose weight over time consistently, walking more, including HIIT, doing resistance training, and especially dieting each and every single day. You'll see your waist size come down. It takes time, but keep working at it. I'm gonna leave it here. I hope you did enjoy it. Again, my sponsors, HP Labs, are having a 60% summer sale on all their products, including all these tasty whey proteins. Using discount code DIAMONDS10 directly supports me, but I'll see you guys in the new one. Like the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.